welcome to another episode of Warrior Cat Wednesday. Today, we are starting the book in the corner here. Midnight! Your voice sounds slightly different. It does, it is a little different right now. I don't know why. It kind of, I'm like congested, but like at the back of my nose. So it's not like something I can sniff away. I think it's like allergies or something. I also added a little bit more bass. I sound older! Ew! Ew! Gross! How could you say that to me? How could you say that to me? It was normal earlier, trust me. I did add a little bit more bass to my filters, but it wasn't that, when I was testing it, it wasn't that bad. Why is that rude? Yeah, because my appeal is being cute. Hi, Silver! My appeal is being a cute, teeny person. Also, why am I sitting up so weirdly? I want to... Well, I don't want to sound too much like a kid. I don't want to be like a baby. I want to sound like a baby. But I want to at least not sound old. I don't want to be old. Ah! Sorry. I'm normal again. I genuinely don't know why I sound so funny. Wish granted, I became squashed. Squashed bananas. As you can see, for our new series, I now have reading glasses. And I have a new book. See my book? It's actually like a special levitating book. Here, look. It can levitate. Whoa! Whoa! Wow! But we'll keep it down there. It also has like cool animation where all the pages flip, but I can't remember it. It's either a magic book or a cursed spooky book. Both. We also have a new background. Did I say that? I added a better chat, which was more simple. Because I think, I don't know, it looks better in my opinion. Also, I've decided to add the book in the corner. So when people join and they ask me what I'm reading, even though it says it in the title. Better chat! They can see it on the screen. They're still gonna ask. You're right. You're right. But at least I'll be able to go like this. It's right there. It's right there. And also, the background music, I've changed to a different forest ambiance. Wow. Also, I got rid of the dark kind of overlay for the pop cubs, and now you guys are just see-through. Now you're just see-through. I might also be sounding different because of the... I did change some other settings on my mic, but it was so that I wouldn't distort. Because I was noticing that I was distorting when I screamed or I got a little loud. So I think it should be a lot better if I scream. You'll just be out. It'll be loud and crystal clear. Wow! Wow! Wonderful. All right. So I did not peek to see. You got the Jester hat! Congrats, Juice! I did not peek to see which POV we're gonna be in. Maybe we should do like a cat toll death on the screen. That would be cool, right? Oh my god, something jumped past us on the audio. Death toll. 0. Yay! Yippee! Now we get to see the kill streak live. Yes. And then if Cat ever misses a stream, then we won't need to rely on it. The death toll. Kill streak. Pew, 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 pew. I also have 2 glasses of juice today. They're both the same juice. I just have 2 glasses in case I drink all of one of them. And then I'm thirsty. And then I have another cup ready to drink. I am a little tired today. It's because I didn't have a nap. But I slept. Did I sleep in? No, I woke up at 5. But I kind of went back to sleep a little bit. Yeah, they do. If we're counting not even we'll count like any death. Wait, Raven, have you never been tuned into a Warrior Cat Wednesday stream? Yeah, it's traumatic, Loki. Which reminds me. So I watched this video last night. It was a Warrior Cat map. I put it in the server under videos. I watched it yesterday like 5 million times. And then I watched it more this morning. And I cried. I cried last night. It's about the 4 leaders. The 4 leaders and their successors. So like Blue Star and Firestar, and then other cats that you guys don't know the lore about yet. But yeah, why am I lagging? Evil. I'm full time. I came to the middle of a book and was too confused. Ah! So this is a good stream for you. You're confused? About what? The cats? The meows? But yeah, this is a good place to start because it's the first book of the series. And while you won't know all the intense history of Firestar, you'll at least be able to be explained everything. You're confused about everything? I think the heat is getting to you, Cat. The schmows. Schmows. Juice, it's so funny when you are paying attention and then you disappear for a few of the streams and then you come back and you're like, what in the heck? Who's dead? Who's the leader now? Hi, Ben! Welcome to the stream! Impossible. Most of the time I take a nap during these streams. Oh, that's good. Nap time. You've been lurking while you drive home. Drive safely! Okay, I think we should start. The PDF that I have for this book is more book accurate. So the pages have less text on them, but they're Yeah, the pages have less text on them, so we have a lot more pages to go through. Oracle, what's on? Because I'm able to comprehend a story when it's written artistically. Oh! Like fiction? More pages, less text. Yeah! So this PDF has 325 pages. But I'm already on page 19. So that's why I cannot for the life of me read books. Understandable, understandable. Wait, off topic question, is anyone else's Instagram not working? I don't use Instagram. Insta. Just finished reading and I'm like, wait, what did I just read? Understandable. Oh! Uh-oh. There's an Amber Alert. Two kids. What the heck? Oh, I hear the police sirens outside too. Holy moly. I hope that they get help. I hope that they're saved. Two siblings. Me too! I'll look it up after stream to see how they are. Can you guys hear the sirens in the background when I'm talking? There's a lot of them. I hate Amber Alerts. It makes me sad. I know. I'm glad that Amber Alerts exist because it's like everybody goes on high alert mode. They're like, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Me too. I hope they get home safely. All right. Let us begin. Let us begin. No, I can't. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I asked if you can hear the sirens, and I'm like, what are you guys saying no to? Oh, now the crows are mad. That's a bad sign. All right, let's go. Prologue. I apologize in advance if my reading is a little bit silly today. I'm a little sleepy. My voice is a little funny. It's all right, though. Ready? Prologue. Night lay upon the forest. There was no moon, but the stars of silver pelt shed their frosty glitter over the trees. At the bottom of a rocky hollow, a pool reflected the starshine. The air was heavy with the scents of late green leaf. Wind sighed softly through the trees and ruffled the quiet surface of the pool. At the top of the hollow, the fronds of bracken parted to reveal a cat. Her bluish-gray fur glimmered as she stepped delicately from rock to rock, down to the water's edge. Sitting on a flat stone that jutted out over the pool, she raised her head to look around. As if at a signal, more cats began to appear, slipping into the hollow from every direction. They padded down to sit as close to the water as they could, until the lower slopes were filled with the lithe shapes of gazing down into the pool. The cat who had appeared first rose to her paws. "A new prophecy has come," she meowed. "A doom that will change everything has been forced into the stars." On the opposite side of the pool, another cat bowed his tawny, bracken-colored head. "I have seen this too. There will be doubt and great challenges," he agreed. "Darkness, air, water, and sky will come together and shake the forest to its roots." The first cat went on. "Nothing will be as it is now, nor as it has been before." "A great storm is coming," meowed another voice, and the word storm was taken up, repeated, and passed around the circle until it seemed that thunder rumbled through the ranks of watching cats. As the murmur died away, a lean cat with a glossy black pelt spoke from near the water's edge. "Can nothing change what is about to happen? Not even the courage and spirit of the greatest warrior? The doom will come, the blue-gray cat replied. But if the clans meet it like warriors, they may survive. Lifting her head, she let her luminous gaze travel around the hollow. You have all seen what must befall, she meowed, and you know what must be done. 4 cats must be chosen to hold the fate of their clans in their paws. Are you ready to make your choices before all of StarClan? As she finished speaking, the surface of the pool shivered, though there was no wind to disturb it. Then was still again. The breaking-colored Tom rose to his paws, starlight turning the fur on his broad shoulders to silver. I will begin, he meowed. He glanced sideways to meet the gaze of a light-colored tabby with a twisted jaw. Crooked Star, do I have your permission to speak for RiverClan? The tabby bowed his head in agreement, and the first cat went on. Then I invite you all to see and approve my choice. He stared down into the water, as motionless as the rocks around him. A pale gray blur appeared on the surface of the pool, and all the cats craned forward to see it more clearly. That one, murmured the blue-gray cat, staring at the shape of the water. Are you sure, Oakheart? The tip of the breaking-colored Tom's tail flicked back and forth. I thought that choice would please you, Blue Star, he meowed, amusement in his tone. Do you not think she was well mentored? She was excellently mentored. Blue Star's neck fur rose as if he had said something to challenge her, then lay flat again. Does the rest of StarClan agree? She asked. A murmur of assent rose from the watching cats, and the pale gray shape thinned and vanished from the water, leaving it clear and empty again. Now the black cat stood up and padded to the very edge of the pool. Here is my choice, he announced. See and approve it. This time, the shape in the pool was tiny-colored and lean, with strong, well-muscled shoulders. Blue Star gazed down at the image for some moments before nodding. She has strength and courage, she agreed. But Night Star, does she have the loyalty? Called another cat. The black cat's head whipped around and his claws dug into the ground in front of him. Are you challenging her disloyal? If I do, there's a reason for it, the other cat shot back. She was not born in ShadowClan, was she? Then that could make her a good choice. Oh wait, sorry, wrong voice. Then that could make her a good choice. Blue Star meowed calmly. If the clans cannot work together now, they will all be destroyed. Maybe it will take cats with a paw in 2 clans to understand what has to be done. She paused for a moment, but no other objections were forthcoming. Do StarClan approve? There was some hesitation, but it was not too long before soft meows of agreement came from all the assembled cats. The surface of the pool rippled briefly, and when it stilled away, again, the tiny shape had gone. Another black cat got up and approached the water's edge, limping on one stubby, twisted paw. My turn. Oh, that's too evil. My turn, I think, he rasped. See and approve my choice. The gray-black shape that had formed in the pool was hard to see against the reflection of the night sky, and the cats peered at it for some time before anyone spoke. What? The breaking-colored cat exclaimed at last. That's an apprentice. I had noticed, thank you, Oakheart. The black Tom meowed dryly. Deadfoot, you can't send an apprentice into danger such as this, another cat called from the back of the crowd. Apprentice he may be, Deadfoot retorted, but he has the courage and skill to match many warriors. One day he might make a fine leader of Wind Clan. One day is not now, Blue Star pointed out, and the qualities of a leader are not necessarily those that the clan needs to save them now. Do you wish to make another choice? Deadfoot's tail lashed furiously, and his neck fur bristled as he glared at Blue Star. This is my choice, he insisted. Do you or any other cat dare to say he is not worthy? What do you say? Her gaze went around the circle. Does StarClan approve? Remember that every clan will be lost if one of our chosen cats should weaken or fail. Instead of a murmur of approval, the cats muttered at each other in small groups, casting uneasy glances at the shape in the pool and at the cat beside it. Deadfoot stared back with fury in his eyes, his fur fluffed up so that he looked twice his size. He was obviously ready to take on any cat who challenged him. At length the muttering died away, and Bluestar asked once again, Does the clan approve? The assent came, but it was low and reluctant, and a few cats did not speak at all. Deadfoot let out an ill-tempered growl as he turned to limp back to his place. When the water was clear again, Oakhart meowed. You have not yet made a choice for ThunderClan, Bluestar. No, but I am ready now, she replied. See and approve my choice. She gazed down proudly as a dark tabby shape formed in the depths of the pool. Oakhart stared at it and stretched his jaw wide in a soundless mew of laughter. That one, Bluestar, you never cease to surprise me. Why? Bluestar's tone showed she was nettled. He is a noble young cat, fit for the challenges this prophecy will bring. Oakhart's ears twitched. Did I say he was not? Bluestar held his gaze, not looking at the other cats as she demanded, Does the clan approve? When the agreement came, strong and certain, she gave Oakhart a contemptuous flick of her tail and looked away. Cats of StarClan, she meowed, raising her voice, your choices have been made. Soon the journey must begin, to meet the terrible storm that will be released on the forest. Go to your clans, and make sure each cat is ready. She paused, and her eyes blazed with a fierce silver light. We can choose a warrior to save each clan, but beyond that, we cannot help them. May the spirits of all our warrior ancestors go with these cats, wherever the stars may lead them. Chapter 1. Okay, I had a little bit of a bump and a bumpy beginning, but I'm getting used to it. There's always a little warm-up period needed, you know what I mean? Also, my sister came home in the middle of that and started doing laundry behind me, and I got a little self-conscious because she can definitely hear me read. And now she's coughing. I hope you guys don't hear her coughing. Chapter 1. But yeah, that was like, I guess, StarClan's meeting. Just as you said that, I heard it. No! Dang it! Wait, heard the laundry or heard her coughing? I'm gonna go tell her to... I'm gonna go tell her to close their door. I'll be right back. Oh my god, a parcel! I got a package! She's not sick. She's a smoker. She said, she was like, I'm sorry. Tell them I'm a smoker. Because it's true. Yeah. It's really nasty. Last night I woke up to it. I hope she can't hear me. I feel bad. Then there's no salvation for her then. Oh yeah, she was. Usually she'll come home from work and then she'll smoke. I think she smokes when she she works high. She smoked before she goes to work and then after she comes back. Shishmoki da Schweed. Exactly. My Popeye smokes too. She really should stop because she has constant lung infections. Those coughs hit different. I'm sorry you had to hear her coughing. They're kind of gross. Bad coughing fits while smoking. There was like a time. You know what? Have I ever told you about this story? There was this one time. I called in sick for work, and it wasn't even like it was like a morning, and I didn't feel that sick, just a little off, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call in sick this morning. And then while like if I had been at work, I wouldn't have been able to like be here. But all of a sudden I heard like the weirdest whistling breathing and like rushing, and my sister was having like an asthma attack. But it had never happened before. It was like I don't know what it was. She just could not breathe. And she had an inhaler at the time, like it was one of those inhalers, and it wasn't working. And I came in, I rushed in, and I was trying to help her use her inhaler, but it was like I have that sound was stuck in my head for so long. Like the sound of her like unable to breathe. And so I had to call 911. But if I had not called in for work, no one would have been there. No one would have been home. And normally I don't do that. I don't call in even if I'm feeling like a little ill, because I'm not at work for that long. So I can usually tough it out. But it's like, I know, it was like my gut or something. Spooky. Anyways, after that, she was gonna quit, but then she didn't quit. Quitting is hard, guys, but we welcome it. Who the heck is a coffee stream bot? What? I have a coffee stream bot? Oh, is it some random bot? I don't know. I have no idea what that was. There was a time when you didn't call in sick for work. That would be scary, I think. Asthma attack sent me to the emergency. That sucks. My brother had very bad asthma at one point. Asthma's scary. I don't understand it enough, but it is scary. I had very bad asthma too, and I always get scared whenever he gets very sick or whenever he runs around too much. He gets very wheezy. Asthma is a big deal, guys. The tingles you got while driving, listening to the first part. Yay! Welcome home! No, wait, I think it's real. It's message before when Kaito's donut to you. But why would he show up now? Nobody donated to me though. I have never seen it in chat before. That's so weird. Bonkers. Okay, well, let's continue. Let's start reading. We're gonna actually start the book now. I mean, I guess the prologue was kind of like a start, but you know how it is. Happy lurking, Peachy! Now we get the first POV. Chapter 1. Leaves rustled as the young tabby cat slid through a gap between two bushes, his jaws wide open to drink in the scent of prey. On this warm night in Lake Greenlight... Oh my god, can I read properly, please? On this warm night in Lake Greenleaf, the forest was full of the scuffles of tiny creatures. Movements twitched endlessly at the edge of his vision, but when he turned his head, he could see nothing but thick clumps of fern and bramble, dappled with moonlight. Suddenly he stepped out into a wide clearing and gazed around in confusion. He could not remember being in this part of the forest before. Smooth cropped grass, glowing silver in a cold wash of moonlight, stretched in front of him as far as a softly rounded rock where another cat was sitting. Starlight sparkled in her fur, and her eyes were two small moons. The young tabby's bewilderment increased as he recognized her. "Blue Star?" he meowed, his voice shrill with disbelief. He had been an apprentice when the great leader of ThunderClan had died 4 seasons ago. 4 years ago. Wait, no, a year ago, right? Leaping into the gorge with a pack of blood-hungry dogs after her. Like all her clan, he had grieved for her and honored her for the way she had given up her life to save them. He had never thought to see her again, and he realized for the first time that he must be dreaming. "Come closer, young warrior," Blue Star meowed. "I have a message for you." Shivering with awe, the tabby Tom crept across the shining stretch of turf until he crouched below the rock and could look up into Blue Star's eyes. "I'm listening, Blue Star," he mewed. A time of trouble is coming to the forest," she told him. "A new prophecy must be fulfilled if the clans are to survive. You have been chosen to meet with 3 other cats at the new moon, and you must listen to what midnight tells you." "What do you mean?" The young cat felt a prickle of dread, cold as snow melt, creep down his spine. "What kind of trouble? And how can midnight tell us anything?" "All will be made clear to you," Blue Star replied. Her voice faded, echoing strangely as if she was speaking from a cavern far beneath the earth. The moonlight also began to grow dim, leaving thick black shadows to creep out of the trees around them. "No, wait!" the tabby cat cried out. "Don't go!" He let out a terrified yowl, thrashing his paws and tail as darkness rose up and engulfed him. Something poked him in the side, and his eyes flew open to see Graystripe, the ThunderClan deputy, standing over him with one paw raised to prod him again. He was scuffling among the moss in the warrior's den, with the golden sunlight leaking through the branches above his head. "Brambleclaw, you crazy furball," the deputy meowed. "What's with all the noise? You'll scare off all the prey from here to 4 trees." "Sorry." Brambleclaw sat up and began... Pause. They named him Brambleclaw after his father, Tiger Claw? Why would they do that to him? Why would they do that to him? Hello? Anyways. Firestar, how dare you? Firestar, what happened? He's trying to escape being associated with Tiger Claw, and this is basically okay. Ash, quick reveal for you, Ash. So Bramble-Claw's father was named Tiger Claw, so he was essentially named after his father's warrior cat name, which wouldn't be bad on its own. The bad thing is Tiger Claw became Tiger Star and tried to take over the entire forest and killed a lot of cats and was very bloodthirsty and was essentially completely evil. And for when Brambleclaw was a kitten, he was discriminated a lot for being Tiger Claw's son, even though he had never met him. You know, everyone would be like rude to him and not trust him because of what his father did. And then they gave him his suffix, he would be Bramblepaw, and so he got Brambleclaw, which is what his dad did. That's another flaw of society. Okay, let's keep going. Now that you have context. Sorry. Brambleclaw sat up and began picking scraps of moss from his dark fur. "I was just dreaming." Dreaming, grunted a new voice. Brambleclaw turned his head to see the white warrior Cloudtail heave himself out of the mossy nest nearby and give a long stretch. "Honestly, you're as bad as Firestar." Cloudtail went on. When he slept in here, he was always muttering and twitching in his sleep. Cat couldn't get a good night's rest for all the prey in the forest. Brambleclaw twitched his ears to hear how disrespectfully the White Warrior spoke about the clan leader. Then he reminded himself that this was Cloudtail, Firestar's kin and former apprentice, well known for his barbed tongue and ready scorn. His impudent talk didn't stop him from being a loyal warrior to his clan. Cloudtail gave his long-furred white coat a shake and slipped out of the den, flicking the end of his tail at Brambleclaw in a friendly way to take the sting out of his words as he went by. "Come on, you lot," meowed Graystripe. "It's time you were moving." He picked his way through the moss on the floor of the den to prod Ashfur awake. Ashfur. Hunting patrols will be going out soon. Breaking Fur is organizing them." "Right," Brambleclaw mewed. His vision of Bluestar was fading, though her ominous message echoed in his ears. Could it really be true that there was a new prophecy from StarClan? It seemed fairly unlikely. For a start, Brambleclaw could not imagine why she would choose to give it to him, of all the cats in ThunderClan. Medicine cats frequently received signs from StarClan, and ThunderClan's leader, Firestar, had often been guided by his dreams. But they were no ordinary warriors. Trying to blame his wild imagination on too much fresh kill the night before, Brambleclaw gave his shoulder one last lick and followed Cloudtail out through the trailing branches. The sun was barely up above the hedge of thorns that surrounded the camp, but the day was already warm. Sunlight lay like honey on the bare earth in the center of the clearing. Sorrelpaw, the oldest of the apprentices, lay stretched out beside the ferns that sheltered the apprentice den, sharing tongues with her den mates Spiderpaw and Shrewpaw. Cloudtail had gone over to the nettle patch where the warriors ate, and was already gulping down a starling. Brambleclaw noticed that the pile of fresh kill was very low. As Graystripe had said, the clan needed to hunt right away. He was about to go and join the White Warrior when Sorrelpaw sprang up and came bounding across the clearing towards him. "It's today!" she announced excitedly. Brambleclaw blinked. "What is?" "My warrior ceremony!" With a little meow of happiness, the tortoiseshell she-cat hurled herself at Brambleclaw. The unexpected attack bowled him over, and they wrestled together on the dusty ground, just as they used to when they were kits together in the nursery. Sorrelpaw's hind paws battered Brambleclaw in the belly. He'd thanked StarClan that her claws were sheathed. There was no doubt that she would make a strong and dangerous warrior, one that every cat would respect. All right, that's enough." Brambleclaw cuffed Sorrelpaw gently over one ear and scrambled up. "If you're going to be a warrior, you'll have to stop behaving like a kit." "A kit?" Sorrelpaw meowed indignantly. She sat in front of him, her fur sticking up in clumps and covered with dust. "Me? Never! I've waited a long time for this, Brambleclaw." "I know. You deserve it." Sorrelpaw had ventured too close to the Thunderpath while she was chasing a squirrel in New Leaf. A two-legged monster had struck her a glancing blow, injuring her shoulder. While she lay in Cinderpelt's den for 3 long, uncomfortable moons, under the gentle care of the medicine cat, her brothers, Sootfur and Rainwhisker, had become warriors. Sorrelpaw had been determined to follow them as soon as Cinderpelt declared her fit enough to begin training again. Brambleclaw had watched how hard she had worked with her mentor, Sandstorm, until her shoulder was good as new. She had never shown any bitterness at being forced to train for several moons longer than the usual apprenticeship. She really deserved her warrior ceremony. "I've just taken fresh kill to Ferncloud," she meowed to Brambleclaw. "Her kits are beautiful. Have you seen them yet?" "No, not yet," Brambleclaw replied. Ferncloud's second litter of kits had been born only the day before. "Go now," Sorrelpaw urged him. "You've just enough time before we hunt." She sprang up and danced a few sidesteps away, as if all her energy had to go somewhere. Brambleclaw set off for the nursery, which was hidden in the depths of a bramble thicket near the center of the camp. He squeezed through the narrow entrance, wincing as thorns scraped against his broad shoulders. Inside it was warm and quiet. Ferncloud was laying on her side in a deep nest of moss. Her green eyes glowed as she gazed on the 3 tiny kits curled up snugly in the curve of her body. One was pale gray like her, and the other 2 were brown tabbies like their father, Dustpelt. He was in the nursery too, crouched beside Ferncloud with his paws tucked under him, occasionally rasping his tongue affectionately over her ear. "Hey there, Brambleclaw," he meowed as the younger warrior appeared. "Come to see the new kits." He looked ready to burst with pride, quite different from his usual prickly, detached air. "They're beautiful," Brambleclaw mewed, touching noses with Ferncloud in greeting. "Have you chosen names for them yet?" Ferncloud shook her head, blinking drowsily up at him. "Not yet." "There's enough time for that," Goldenflower, the oldest ThunderClan queen and Brambleclaw's own mother, spoke from her mossy bed. She had no kits of her own to nurse, but she had decided to stay in the nursery and share the care of the new arrivals instead of taking up her warrior duties again. She was nearing the time when she would go to join the elders in their den, and was the first to admit that her hearing and her eyesight were no longer sharp enough to keep up with the best hunting patrols. "They're strong, healthy kits. That's what matters. And Ferncloud has plenty of milk." Brambleclaw respectfully dipped his head to her. "She's lucky to have you help look after them." "Well, I didn't do too bad a job with you," Goldenflower purred proudly. "There's something you could do for me," Dustpelt meowed to Brambleclaw as he was leaving. "Sure, if I can." "Keep an eye on Squirrelpaw, would you? I want to spend a day or 2 with Ferncloud while the kits are still so small, but Squirrelpaw shouldn't be left without a mentor for too long." "Squirrelpaw!" Brambleclaw groaned inwardly. Firestar's daughter! 8 moons old, recently apprenticed, and the biggest nuisance in ThunderClan. "Hi, Corey." It'll be good practice for when you have an apprentice of your own," Dustpelt added, as if he sensed his clanmate's reluctancy. Brambleclaw knew that Dustpelt was right. He hoped that Firestar would choose him to be a mentor before much longer, with an apprentice of his own to train in the warrior code. But he also hoped that his apprentice would not be some smart aleck ginger she-cat who thought she knew it all. He was well aware that Squirrelpaw would not take kindly to orders coming from him. Okay, Dustpelt," he meowed. "I'll do my best." When Brambleclaw emerged from the nursery, he saw that more cats had appeared in the clearing. Brightheart, a pretty white she-cat with ginger patches on her fur like fallen leaves, had just chosen a piece of fresh kill from the remains of the pile and was taking it across to where Cloudtail still sat beside the nettle patch. The uninjured side of her face was turned to Brambleclaw so that he almost forgot the disfiguring wounds she had received when the dog pack roamed the forest. One side of her face was seamed with scars, and her ear had been shredded. There was only a gouge mark where her eye should be. Even though she survived the vicious attack, the clan had feared that she would never be a warrior. It was Cloudtail who had trained her and worked out ways of making up for her blindness on that side, even turning into a strength, so that now she could fight and hunt as well as any. Oh my god, what is wrong with my rating right now? I love that his own daughter became a nuisance. It's in his blood. She's got the sass of her mama and the spice of her father's blood. Okay. Cloudtail greeted her with a flick of his tail, and she sat down beside him. "Brambleclaw, there you are!" Brambleclaw turned and saw a long-legged ginger warrior headed towards him from the direction of the warrior's den. He padded over to meet him. "Hi, Breakenfur. Grishap said you're organizing hunting patrols." "That's right," Breakenfur meowed. "Will you go out with Squirrelpaw this morning, please?" He angled his ears towards the apprentice den, and Brambleclaw noticed for the first time that Squirrelpaw was half concealed in the shade of the ferns. She sat tall, her tail curled around her paws, her green eyes following a bright-winged butterfly. When Breakenfur beckoned her with his tail, she got up and strolled across the clearing, her tail straight up and her dark ginger fur gleaming in the sunlight. Hunting patrol, Breakenfur explained briefly. Dustpelt is busy, so you can go with Brambleclaw. Can you find another cat to go with you? Without waiting for an answer, he hurried off towards Sandstorm and Squirrelpaw. Squirrelpaw yawned and stretched. Well, she meowed, where shall we go? I thought Sunning Rocks, Brambleclaw began. Then we can... Sunning Rocks? Squirrelpaw interrupted, her eyes stretching wide with disbelief. Are you mouse-brained? On a day as hot as all this, all the prey will be hiding down the cracks. We won't catch so much as a whisker. It's still early, Brambleclaw replied crossly. The prey will be out for a while yet. Squirrelpaw let out a heavy sigh. Honestly, Brambleclaw, you always think you know better than anyone else. Well, I am a warrior, Brambleclaw pointed out, and knew instantly it was the wrong thing to say. Squirrelpaw bowed her head in deep and exaggerated respect. Oh, yes, great one, she meowed. I shall do exactly what you say, and when we come back empty-pawed, maybe you'll admit that I was right. Well, then, Brambleclaw mewed, if you're so clever, where do you think we should go hunt? Up towards Four Trees, by the stream, Squirrelpaw replied promptly. That's a much better place. Brambleclaw was even more annoyed when he realized that she might be right. In spite of the endless hot days that had lasted all Greenleaf, the stream there still ran cool and deep, with thick clumps of reeds where prey could hide. He hesitated, wondering how he could change his mind without losing face in front of the apprentice. Squirrelpaw. A new voice rescued him, and Brambleclaw realized that it was Sandstorm. Squirrelpaw's mother had padded over to join them. Stop ruffling Brambleclaw's fur. What is that? You chatter as much as a nest of jackdaws. Her annoyed green gaze turned on Brambleclaw, and she added, and you're just as bad. The pair of you are always squabbling. You can't be trusted to hunt together if you can't even get out of the clearing without scaring half the prey between here and Four Trees. Sorry, Brambleclaw muttered, embarrassment sweeping through his fur from ears to tail tip. You're a warrior. You should know better. Go and ask Cloudtail if you can hunt with him. And as for you, Sandstorm meowed to her daughter, you can come and hunt with me and Squirrelpaw. Breakenfur won't mind. And you'll do as you're told, or I'll know the reason why. Without looking back, she headed straight for the gorse tunnel that led out of camp. Squirrelpaw stood still for a moment, a sulky look in her green eyes, and scuffed the ground with her forepaws. Squirrelpaw came up and gave her a friendly nudge. Come on, she urged. This is my last hunt as an apprentice. Let's make it a good one. Reluctantly, Squirrelpaw nodded, and the two cats set off together after Sandstorm. The dark ginger apprentice shot a last glare at Brambleclaw as she passed him. Brambleclaw shrugged. Squirrelpaw would get more experience mentoring from Sandstorm than she would from him. So he wasn't letting Dustpelt down, even though the warrior had asked him to keep an eye on her. And he wouldn't have to listen all morning to her annoying chatter, so he wasn't sure why he felt slightly disappointed at being set on a different patrol. Pushing off the feeling, he bounded over to the nettle patch where Cloudtail and Brightheart were finishing their prey. Their single kit, Whitepaw, had just padded across to join... They have a baby! Had just padded across to join them. As Brambleclaw came up, he heard her say, Are you going hunting? Please, can I come with you? Cloudtail flicked his tail. No. Whitepaw had begun to look disappointed when he added, Breakenfur said he'd take you. He is your mentor, after all. He told me he's really proud of you, Brightheart purred. Whitepaw brightened up. Great, I'll go find him. Cloudtail gave her an affectionate cuff over the ear with one paw before she dashed off, her tail wagging excitedly. Brambleclaw hoped that didn't mean that Cloudtail and Brightheart wanted to go out alone. Do you mind if I join you? He asked. Sure, you can come, Cloudtail replied. He jumped up and nodded to Brightheart. Then the three cats trotted together across the clearing towards the gorse tunnel. Just before he headed into the close-growing thorns, Brambleclaw glanced over his shoulder at the quiet activity going on in camp. Every cat looked well-fed, sleek-furred, and confident that the territory was safe. Blue Star's message came back to echo in his mind. Could it be true that some great trouble was coming upon the forest? Brambleclaw felt his fur prickle with foreboding. He decided that he would not tell any cat about the dream. That seemed like the only way he could convince himself that it meant nothing, and there was no new prophecy coming to disrupt life in the forest as they knew it. The sun was setting in a ball of fire, turning the tops of trees into flames and sending long shadows across the clearing. Brambleclaw stretched and sighed with satisfaction. He was tired after a long day's hunting, but his stomach was comfortably full. All the clan had been fed too, and there was an ample pile of fresh kill. Greenleaf had been longer and hotter than any cat could remember, but the forest was still full of fray. And there was plenty of water in the stream close to 4 trees. A good day, Brambleclaw thought contentedly. This is how life should be. The rest of the clan was beginning to slip out into the clearing and gather around the high rock, and Brambleclaw realized it was time for Sorapaw's warrior ceremony. He padded closer to the high rock and sat down close to Ferncloud's brother, Ashfur, who gave him a friendly nod. Greystripe was already sitting at the base of the rock, looking as proud as if his own apprentice were about to be made warrior. Greystripe had fathered 2 kits, but they had grown up in RiverClan, where their mother had been born. He had no kits in ThunderClan, but liked to keep an eye on the progress of all the young cats. As Brambleclaw watched, the deputy was joined by Cinderpelt, the medicine cat, and her apprentice, Leafpaw, Squirrelpaw's sister. She looked nothing like Squirrelpaw. She was smaller and slighter, with pale tabby fur and a white chest and paws. The sisters were not much alike in character either. When Leafpaw sat down and tipped her head to one side to listen to what her mentor and the deputy were saying to each other, Brambleclaw wondered, not for the first time, how she managed to be so quiet and attentive when her sister Squirrelpaw never stopped talking. At last Firestar, the clan leader, appeared from his den at the other side of the high rock. He was a strong, lithe warrior, his pelt blazing like a flame in the light of the setting sun. After pausing for a word with Greystripe, he bunched his muscles and leaped to the top of the high rock, from where he could look down on the clan. "Cats of ThunderClan!" he announced. "Let all those cats old enough to catch their own prey join here beneath the high rock for a clan meeting." Most of the cats were already there, but as Firestar's voice echoed through the clearing, the last of the clan members slid out from their dens and trotted over to join the others. Last of all came Sorapaw with her mentor, Sandstorm. Her tortoiseshell fur was freshly groomed, her white chest and paws shining like snow. Her amber eyes gleamed with pride and suppressed excitement as she paced around the clearing. Beside her, Sandstorm looked just as proud. Brambleclaw knew how much the ginger she-cat had suffered when she had seen her apprentice lying injured on the thunder path. They had both needed courage and perseverance to reach this ceremony. Firestar sprang down from the high rock to meet with the apprentice and her mentor. "Sandstorm," he began, using the formal words that had been handed down through all the clans. "Are you satisfied that this apprentice is ready to become a warrior of ThunderClan?" Sandstorm inclined her head. She will be a warrior the clan can be proud of," she replied. Firestar raised his eyes to where the first stars of Silverpelt were beginning to appear in the evening sky. "I, Firestar, leader of ThunderClan, call upon my warrior ancestors to look down on this apprentice." The clan was hushed as his voice rang out across the clearing. "She has trained hard to understand the ways of your noble code, and I commend her to you as a warrior in her turn." He turned to Sorapaw, locking his gaze with hers. "Sorapaw, do you promise to uphold the warrior code and to protect and defend this clan, even at the cost of your life?" "Hi, Graphic Hazel. I'll reply at the end of this chapter." Remembering how he had felt in this moment, in his own warrior ceremony, Brambleclaw watched Sorapaw's whole body quiver with anticipation as she lifted her chin and replied clearly, "I do." "Then, by the power of StarClan, I give you your warrior name. Sorapaw, from this moment on, you will be known as Sorreltail. StarClan honors your courage and your patience, and we welcome you as a full warrior of ThunderClan." Stepping forward, Firestar rested his muzzle on the top of Sorreltail's head. In return, she gave his shoulder a respectful lick before backing away. The rest of the warriors gathered around her, welcoming her and calling her by her new name, Sorreltail! Sorreltail! Her brothers, Sootfur and Rainwhisker, were amongst the first, their eyes gleaming with pride that their sister had finally joined them as warriors. Firestar waited until the noise had died down. Sorreltail, according to tradition, you must keep vigil in silence tonight and watch over the camp. While the rest of us get a good night's sleep, Cloudtail added. The clan leader flashed him a warning glance but said nothing as the cats parted to let Sorreltail take up her position in the middle of the clearing. She sat with her tail curled around her paws and her gaze fixed on the darkening sky, where the light of Silverpelt grew steadily strong. With the ceremony over, the rest of the cats slipped away into the shadows. Brambleclaw stretched and yawned, looking forward to his comfortable nest in the warrior's den, but content to stay in the clearing for a while to enjoy a warm evening. He could not see any sign that other cats had shared his disturbing dream, and yet Bluestar had suggested that 3 other cats would be involved in the new prophecy. Brambleclaw felt the purr rising into his throat, half amused by how quickly he had believed that a cat from StarClan had visited him in his dreams. That would teach him to gulp down Freshkill just before he went to sleep. Brambleclaw. Firestar patted over and settled down beside him. Cloudtail says you hunted well today. Thank you, Firestar. The leader's gaze was fixed on his daughters, Leafpaw and Squirrelpaw, who were headed towards the pile of Freshkill. Do you miss Twinypelt? Firestar meowed unexpectedly. Brambleclaw blinked in surprise. Twinypelt was his sister. The former ThunderClan deputy, Tigerstar, had fathered them before he had been banished from the clan for trying to seize power from Bluestar, who was the leader then. Later, Tigerstar had made himself the leader of ShadowClan, only to be killed by a rogue cat in a failed attempt to extend his power over the whole forest. Tawnypelt had always felt that ThunderClan blamed her for her father's crimes, and she had made the decision to join ShadowClan shortly after he became the clan's leader. Yes, Brambleclaw replied. Yes, Firestar, I miss her every day. I didn't understand how you might feel about her. Not until I saw how close these two are. Firestar nodded towards the 2 sister apprentices who were choosing prey from the pile. Firestar, you're not being fair to yourself, Brambleclaw insisted uncomfortably. After all, you miss your sister, don't you? He dared to add. Firestar had become life as a kitty pet before he joined ThunderClan, and his sister, Princess, still lived with 2 legs. Firestar visited her from time to time, and Brambleclaw knew very well how important they were to each other. Princess had given Firestar her firstborn kit to raise as a warrior, and that was Cloudtail, Brightheart's loyal friend. Friend! They're mates, bruh. The clan leader tilted his head to one side, thinking, Of course I miss Princess. He meowed at last. But she's a kitty pet. She could never live this kind of life. You must wish that Tawnypelt had stayed here in ThunderClan. I guess I do, Brambleclaw admitted. But she's happier where she is. That's true, Firestar nodded. The most important thing is that you've both found a clan where you can be loyal. A warm feeling crept through Brambleclaw. Once Firestar had doubted his loyalty because he looked so much like his father, Tigerstar, with the same muscular body and dark tabby pelt, and the same amber eyes. Brambleclaw suddenly wondered if a truly loyal clan cat would mention the disturbing dream and Bluestar's warning that great trouble was coming to the forest. He was trying to find the words to start when Firestar stood up, dipped his head briefly in farewell, and padded over to where Sandstorm was sitting with Greystripe near the high rock. Brambleclaw almost followed him, but he reminded himself that if StarClan really wanted to send a prophecy of great danger, they would not give it to one of the youngest, least experienced warriors in the clan. They would tell the Medicine Cat, or perhaps the clan leader himself. And obviously, Firestar and Cinderpelt had not received an omen, or they would be telling the clan what to do about it. No, Brambleclaw told himself again, there was nothing whatsoever to worry about. Chapter 2. Hi, Hazel! I don't stream daily, I stream Every other day for the most part, but I stream on Fridays and Saturdays. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday sometimes. Cloudtail, very cool. I do like Cloudtail a lot. I don't know if I spelled that horribly. It was autocorrect saying something. Good night, Juice. Sleep tight. Chapter 2. The sun had not yet risen when Brambleclaw set out with the dawn patrol. Even in the few days since Sorreltail's warrior ceremony, the leaves had begun to turn gold, and the first chill of leaf fall lay on the forest, though it still hadn't rained for longer than a moon. The young warrior shivered as long grasses, heavy with dew, brushed against his fur. Cobwebs spread a gray film over the bushes, and the air was filled with damp, leafy scents. The twittering of waking birds began to drown out the soft patting of cats' paws. Brightheart's brother, Thornclaw, who was in the lead, paused to look back at Brambleclaw and Ashfur. Firestar wants us to check Snake Rocks, he meowed. Watch out for adders. There are more of them since the weather's been so hot. Brambleclaw instinctively unsheathed his claws. The adders would be hidden in cracks now, but as soon as the sun came up and the warmth would tempt them out again. One bite from those poisoned jaws could kill a warrior before a medicine cat could do anything to help. Before they had gone very far, Brambleclaw began to hear faint sounds beside him, behind him, as if something were moving around in the undergrowth. He paused, glancing back in hope of an easy bit of prey. At first he could see nothing. Then he noticed the fronds of a thick clump of fern were waving about, though there was no breeze. He sniffed the air, opening his jaws to drink it in, before letting the breath out again with a sigh. Come out, Squirrel Paw, he meowed. There was a moment of silence. Then the bracken waved again, and the stems parted as the dark ginger she-cat came out into the open. Her green eyes glared defiance. What's going on? Thornclaw padded up to Brambleclaw, with Ashfur just behind him. Brambleclaw indicated the apprentice with a flick of his tail. I heard something behind us, he explained. She must have followed us from the camp. Don't talk about me as if I weren't here, Squirrelpaw protested hotly. You shouldn't be here, Brambleclaw retorted. Somehow Squirrelpaw had only to open her mouth for him to feel that his fur was being rubbed the wrong way. Stop bickering, the pair of you, Thornclaw growled. You're not kids anymore. Squirrelpaw, tell us what you're doing here. Did some cat send you with a message? She wouldn't have been sulking in the break-in if there had been, Brambleclaw couldn't resist pointing out. No, they didn't, Squirrelpaw meowed with a resentful glance at Brambleclaw. Her paws scuffled in the grass. I wanted to come with you, that's all. I haven't been on a patrol for ages. And you weren't told to come on this one, Thornclaw replied. Does Dustpelt know you're here? No, Squirrelpaw admitted. He promised last night we'd do some training, but every cat knows he spends all day in the nursery with Ferncloud and their kits. Not anymore, Ashfur mewed. Not since the kits opened their eyes. Squirrelpaw, I think you might be in trouble if Dustpelt goes looking for you. You'd better get back to camp right away, Thornclaw decided. Anger flared up in Squirrelpaw's eyes, and she took a step forward that brought her nose to nose with Thornclaw. You're not my mentor, so don't order me around. Thornclaw's nostrils flared mutely as he let out a patient sigh, and Brambleclaw admired his self-control. If Squirrelpaw had spoken to him like that, he would have been tempted to rake his claws over her ear. Even Squirrelpaw seemed to realize she had gone too far. I'm sorry, Thornclaw, she meowed, but it's true I haven't been on a patrol for days. Please, can I come? Thornclaw exchanged a glance with Ashfur and Brambleclaw. All right, he mewed, but don't blame me if Dustpelt turns you into crow food when we get back. Squirrelpaw gave a little skip of excitement. Thank you, Thornclaw. Where are we going? Are we looking for anything special? Is there going to be trouble? Thornclaw swished his tail across her mouth to silence her. Snake Rocks, he replied, and it's up to us to make sure there won't be trouble. Watch out for adders, though, Brambleclaw added. I know that, Squirrelpaw flashed back at him. And we'll do it quietly, Thornclaw ordered her. I don't want to hear another squeak out of you unless there's something I need to know. Squirrelpaw opened her mouth to reply, then took in what he had said and nodded vigorously. The patrol set off again. Brambleclaw had to admit that now she had gotten her own way, Squirrelpaw was behaving sensibly, slipping quietly along behind the leader and staying alert for every sound and movement in the undergrowth. The sun was well risen by the time the four cats emerged from the trees and saw the smooth, rounded shapes of the snake rocks in front of them. A dark hole gaped at the foot of one of them. It was the cave where the dog pack had hidden. Brambleclaw shuddered, remembering that Tiger Star, his own father, had tried to lead the savage animals to ThunderClan camp in a deadly revenge against his former clanmates. Squirrelpaw noticed his expression. Scared of adders? She taunted him. Yeah, Brambleclaw replied. And so should you. Whatever, she shrugged. They're probably more scared of us. Before Brambleclaw could stop her, she bounded forward into the clearing, obviously meaning to poke her nose into the hole. Stop! Thornclaw's voice brought his skidding to a halt. Hasn't Dustbelt told you that we don't go dashing in anywhere before we're sure of what we're going to find? Squirrelpaw looked embarrassed. Of course he has. Well, then, act like you might have listened to him once or twice. Thornclaw padded up beside the apprentice. Have a good sniff, he suggested. See if you can scent anything. The young she-cat stood with her head raised, drawing in the morning air into her mouth. Mouse, she meowed brightly, and after a moment, Can we hunt, Thornclaw? Later, the warrior replied. Now concentrate. Squirrelpaw tasted the air again. The thunder path just over there, she waved her tail, and a two-leg with a dog. But that's Dale, she added. I guess they were here yesterday. Very good. Thornclaw sounded impressed, and Squirrelpaw curled her tail up in delight. There's something else, she went on. A horrible scent. I don't think I've smelled it before. Brambleclaw raised his head and sniffed. You quickly identified the scent Squirrelpaw had mentioned, and the new, unfamiliar one. Badger, he meowed. Thornclaw nodded. That's right. Looks as if it's moved into the cave where the dogs were. Ashfur groaned. Just our luck. Why? Squirrelpaw added. What are badgers like? Are they a problem? Are they ever? Brambleclaw growled. They're no good to any cat, and they'd kill you as soon as they look at you. Squirrelpaw's eyes widened, though she looked more impressed than frightened. Ashfur cautiously approached the dark cave mouth, sniffed, and peered inside. It's dark as a fox's heart in there, he reported, but I don't think the badger is home. While he was speaking, Brambleclaw suddenly caught the scent again, much stronger this time, washing over him from somewhere behind them. He leaped around to see a pointed, striped face appear from behind the trunk of a nearby tree, its huge pads crushing the grass, its muzzle snuffling along the ground. Look out! He yowled, every hair on his pelt bristling in fear. He had never been this close to a badger before. Whirling around, he dashed out of the clearing. Squirrelpaw, run! As soon as Brambleclaw gave the alarm, Ashfur dived into the undergrowth, while Thornclaw bounded towards the safety of the trees. But Squirrelpaw stayed where she was, her gaze fixed on the huge creature. This way, Squirrelpaw! Thornclaw called, starting to come back. The apprentice still hesitated. Brambleclaw barreled into her, thrusting her towards the trees. I said run! Her green eyes, blazing with fear and excitement, met his for a heartbeat. The badger was lumbering forward, its small eyes glittering as it scented cats intruding onto its territory. Squirrelpaw pelted towards the edge of the clearing and launched herself up the nearest tree. Reaching a low branch, she dug her claws and crouched there, her ginger fur fluffed out. Brambleclaw clawed his way up beside her. Down below, the badger was blundering back and forth, as if it could not tell where the cats had gone. Its black and white head swung threateningly from side to side. Brambleclaw knew that it could not see very well. Usually badgers only came out after dark, and this one would be on its way back to the cave after a night's feeding on worms and grubs. Would it eat us? Squirrelpaw asked breathlessly. No, Brambleclaw replied, trying to slow his pounding heart. Even a fox kills to eat, but a badger will kill you just for getting in its way. We're not prey to them, but they won't tolerate any trespassers on their territory. Why did you hang around there instead of running like you were told. I'd never seen a badger before, and I wanted to. Dustbelt says we should get all the experience we can. Does that include the experience of having your fur ripped off? Brambleclaw asked dryly, but for once, Squirrelpaw didn't reply. While he was speaking, Brambleclaw hadn't taken his eyes off the creature below. He breathed a sigh of relief as it gave up the search and padded over to the cave mouth, where it squeezed inside and was gone. Thornclaw leaped down from the tree where he had taken refuge. That was closer than I'd like, he meowed as Brambleclaw and Squirrelpaw scrambled down to join him. Where's Ashfur? Here. Ashfur's pale gray head popped out of a tangle of briars. Think that badger is the same one that killed Willowpelt last leaf bear? Willowpelt is dead?! Can't believe they did that to her. Off screen too! Maybe, Thornclaw replied. Cloudtail and Mousefur drove it away from the camp, but we never found out where it went. A pang of sadness went through Brambleclaw as he remembered the silver-gray she-cat. Willowpelt was the mother of Sorreltail, Sootfur, and Rainwhisker, but she had not lived to see her kits become warriors. Wasn't Willowpelt also White Storm's mate? The heck? Oh, Corey, you're in for it. You're in for it, Corey. Couldn't have been more than an hour for the first... We're starting a little slow, you know how it is. We're behind schedule. So, what are we gonna do about it? Squirrelpaw asked eagerly. Shall we go in there and kill it? There's 4 of us and only 1 badger. How hard could it be? Brambleclaw winced, while Thornclaw closed his eyes and waited a moment before speaking. Squirrelpaw, you never go into a badger's den. Or a fox's, for that matter. They'll attack you right away. There isn't enough room to maneuver, and you can't see what you're doing. But... No. We'll head back to camp and report it. Firestar will decide what to do. Without waiting for Squirrelpaw to argue any more, he set off in the direction they had come. Ashfur fell behind him, but Squirrelpaw paused at the edge of the clearing. We could have dealt with it, she grumbled, glancing back longingly at the dark mouth of the cave. I could have lured it out, and then it still would have killed you with one swipe of its paws, and we'd still have to go back and report it. Brambleclaw meowed discouragingly. What do you think we would have to say? Sorry, Firestar, but we accidentally let a badger get your daughter. He would have our fur off. Badgers are bad news, and that's that. Well, you wouldn't catch Firestar leaving a badger in ThunderClan territory without doing anything. Squirrelpaw swung her tail up defiantly and plunged into the undergrowth to catch up with Thornclaw and Ashfur. Brambleclaw raised his eyes, murmured, Great Star Clan, and followed. When he emerged from the gorse tunnel into the clearing, the first cat he saw was Dustpelt. The brown tabby warrior was pacing up and down outside the apprentice's den, his tail lashing from side to side. 2 of the other apprentices, Spiderpaw and Whitepaw, were crouched in the shade of the ferns, watching him apprehensively. As soon as Dustpelt spotted Squirrelpaw, he marched across the clearing towards her. Uh-oh, Squirrelpaw muttered. Well? The tabby warrior's voice was icy. Brambleclaw winced, knowing how short-tempered he was. The only cat who had never felt the rough side of his tongue was Ferncloud. What have you got to say for yourself? Squirrelpaw met his glare bravely, but there was a quiver in her voice when she replied, I went on a patrol, Dustpelt. On a patrol! I see. Which cat ordered you to go? Graystripe? Firestar? No cat ordered me, but I thought... No, you didn't think. Dustpelt's voice was scathing. I told you we would train today. Mousefur and Brakenfur took their apprentices to the training hollow for a practice. We could have gone with them, but we didn't, because you weren't here. Do you realize that every cat has been searching the camp for you? Squirrelpaw shook her head, scuffling the ground with her front paws. When no cat could find you, Firestar took out a patrol to try following your scent. Did you see anything of him? Another shake of the head. Brambleclaw realized that following a scent in the heavy dew in the morning would have been next to impossible. Your clan leader has better things to do than chase after apprentices who can't do as they're told, Dustpelt went on. Thornclaw, why did you let her go with you? I'm sorry, Dustpelt, Thornclaw apologized. I thought she'd be safer with us than wandering around in the forest by herself. Dustpelt snorted. That's true. We could still go and do the training, Squirrelpaw suggested. Oh, no. No more training for you until you learn what being an apprentice really means. Dustpelt paused for a heartbeat. You can spend the rest of the day looking after the elders. Make sure they have enough fresh kill. Change their bedding. Go over their pelts for ticks. He blinked. I'm sure Cinderpelt has plenty of mouse bile for you. Squirrelpaw's eyes flew wide in dismay. Oh, yuck! Well, what are you waiting for? The young apprentice stared at him for a moment longer, as if she couldn't believe he really meant it. When there was no change in her mentor's hard stare, she whisked around and flounced across the clearing towards the elder's den. If Firestar's out looking for Squirrelpaw, we'll have to wait for him to get back before we can report the badger, Thornclaw observed. Badger? What badger? Asked Dustpelt. While Thornclaw and Ashfur began to describe what they had seen at Snake Rocks, Brambleclaw bounded across the clearing and caught up with Squirrelpaw just outside the elder's den. What do you want? She spat. Don't be angry, Brambleclaw mewed. He couldn't help feeling sorry for her, even though she deserved some sort of punishment for leaving the camp without any cat knowing where she was going. Thank you, Valley, for the raid. Where the heck was I? Sorry, I'll thank you properly at the end of the chapter. I'll help you with the elders, if you like. Squirrelpaw opened her mouth as if she were about to make a rude retort, and then clearly thought better of it. Okay, thanks, she muttered ungraciously. You go and get the mouse bile, and I'll make a start on the bedding. Squirrelpaw's eyes opened wide in a winning expression. You wouldn't rather get the mouse bile, would you? No, I wouldn't. Dustpelt especially told you to do that. Don't you think he'll check? Squirrelpaw shrugged. No harm in trying. With a flick of her tail, she stalked off to find Cinderpelt. Brambleclaw headed for the elder's den, which was in a patch of grass sheltered by a fallen tree. The tree was a burned out shell. Brambleclaw could still scent the acrid tang from the fire that had swept through the camp more than 4 seasons ago, when he was only a kid. But the grass had grown up again around the tree trunk, thick and luxuriant, making a comfortable home for the elderly cats whose service to the clan was done. When he pushed his way through the grass, he found the elders sunning themselves in a small, flattened clearing. Dappletail, the oldest cat in ThunderClan, was curled up asleep. Oh my god, that means that one eye is dead. Her patchy tortoiseshell pelt rising and falling with each breath. Frostfur, a still beautiful white queen, was dabbing lazily at a beetle in the grass. Speckletail and Longtail's an elder? Speckletail and Longtail were crouched together as if they were in the middle of a good gossip. Brambleclaw felt the familiar jolt of sympathy, when he looked at Longtail. The pale Tabby Tom was still a young warrior, but his eyesight had begun to fail so that he could no longer fight or hunt for himself. Aww! Longtail? Hey there, Brambleclaw. Longtail's head swung around as Brambleclaw entered the clearing, his jaw parted to take in the newcomer's scent. What can we do for you? I've come to help Squirrelpaw, Brambleclaw explained. Dustpelt sent her to look after you today. Speckletail broke into a rasping laughter. That wasn't good. I heard she went missing. The whole camp was in an uproar looking for her, but I knew she'd just gone off by herself. She tagged on to Dawn Patrol, Brambleclaw meowed. Before he could say any more, there was the sound of another cat pushing through the grasses, and Squirrelpaw appeared. She had a twig clumped in her jaws. Hanging from it was a ball of moss soaked in mouse bile. Brambleclaw wrinkled his nose at the bitter scent. Right! Who's got ticks? Squirrelpaw mumbled around the twig. You're supposed to look for them yourself, Brambleclaw pointed out. Squirrelpaw shot him a glare. You can start with me, Frostfur offered. I'm sure there's one on my shoulder, just where I can't get at it. Squirrelpaw padded over to the she-cat, parting her white fur with her forepaw and grunting when she discovered the tick. She dabbed at it with the damp moss until it dropped off. Ticks obviously found mouse bile as disgusting as cats did, thought Brambleclaw. Don't worry, youngster, Speckletail mewed as Squirrelpaw went on searching Frostfur's pelt. Your father was punished many times when he was an apprentice, even after he became a warrior. I never knew such a cat for getting into trouble, and look at him now. Squirrelpaw swung around to look at the elder, her green eyes sparkling, obviously begging for a tail. Well now, Speckletail settled herself more comfortably in her grassy nest. There was the time when Firestar and Graystripe were caught feeding RiverClan with prey from our own territory. Brambleclaw had heard the story before, so he began to collect the elder's used beddings, rolling the moss together until he had gathered it up in a ball. When he took it out into the clearing, he spotted Firestar emerging from the gorse tunnel, with Sandstorm and Cloudtail behind him. Thornclaw was hurrying across to meet them from the other side of the clearing. Thanks, Darkland, Squirrelpaw's safe. Firestar was mewing as Brambleclaw came into earshot. One of these days she'll get into real trouble. She's in real trouble now, Sandstorm growled. Just wait till I get my paws on her. Dustpelt already did. Thornclaw gave a meow of amusement. He sent her to help the elders for the rest of the day. Firestar nodded. Good. And there's something else, Thornclaw went on. We found a badger up at Snake Rocks, living in the cave where the dogs used to be. We think it might be the one that killed Willowpelt, Brambleclaw put in, setting his ball of moss down. We've not seen any traces of a badger anywhere else in the forest. Cloudtail let out a growl. Oh, I hope it is! I'd give anything to get my claws on that brute. Firestar swung around to face him. He'll do nothing of that without orders. I don't want to lose any more cats. He paused for a moment, then added, We'll keep watch on it for a while. Pass the word around not to hunt at Snake Rocks for the time being. With any luck, it will move on before Leaf Bear, when prey gets scarce. And hedgehogs might fly, Cloudtail grumbled, stalking past Brambleclaw towards the warrior's den. Badgers and cats don't mix, and that's the end of it. New POV! So, hello, Valley! Thank you so much for the raid! I hope the rest of your stream went good. Did you manage to roll for Blade? I know you already rolled, but maybe you got more rolls. Gosh, my voice is so funny today. I can feel it be funny in my throat. Meow, 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 meow. Hopefully you're resting now, though, Valley. BRB okay, then? Okay, there's a point that I want to get to, but I'm feeling really tired, so I don't know if we'll manage to get to it. I will read another chapter, though. I have to think of a voice for her, though. Squirrelpaw is upset. Chapter 3. Squirrelpaw is upset, Leafpaw remarked, watching her sister leave the medicine cat clearing with the twig of mouse bile clenched in her jaws. She deserves to be. Cinderpelt glanced up from counting juniper berries. She spoke firmly, though not unsympathetically. If apprentices think they can go off by themselves without telling any cat, then where would we be? I know. While Leafpaw prepared the mouse bile, she had listened to her sister raging about how unfair the punishment was. Squirrelpaw's anger churned deep within Leafpaw's belly, as if the air in the camp were water and her sister was sending ripples of cold frustration into the medicine cat den. Ever since they were tiny kits, they had always known what the other was feeling. Leafpaw remembered how her fur had tingled with excitement when Squirrelpaw was made apprentice, and how her sister had been unable to sleep on the night when Leafpaw had been apprenticed as the medicine cat. at the moonstones. When she had felt an excruciating pain in her paw and limped around camp from sun-high to sunset until Squirrel Paw returned from a hunting patrol with a thorn driven deep into her pad. Leaf Paw shook her head as if she had a burr clinging to her pelt, trying to push away her sister's emotions and concentrate on her task of sorting yarrow leaves. Squirrel Paw will be fine, Cinderbolt reassured her. It'll all be forgotten tomorrow. Now, did you get any of that mouse bile in your fur? If you did, you better go and wash it off. No, Cinderpelt, I'm fine. Leafpaw knew her voice was filled with the strain she was feeling, however hard she tried to hide it. Cheer up! Cinderpelt limped out of her den to join the apprentice, pressing her muzzle comfortingly against Leafpaw's side. Do you want to come to the gathering tonight? May I? Leafpaw spun to face her mentor. Then she hesitated. Squirrelpaw won't be allowed to come, will she? After today? Certainly not. Cinderpelt's blue eyes glowed with understanding. Leafpaw, you and your sister aren't kits anymore, and you have chosen a very different path from hers, to be a medicine cat. You will always be friends, but you can't do everything together. The sooner you both accept that, the better. Leafpaw nodded and bent over the yarrow leaves again. She struggled to calm her feelings of excitement over the gathering, so that Squirrelpaw would not feel even more upset about being left out. Cinderpelt was right, but all the same, she couldn't help wishing that she and Squirrelpaw had been able to attend the gathering together. The full moon rode high in the sky as Firestar led the cats from ThunderClan up the slope towards 4 trees. Padding along beside Cinderpelt, Leafpaw shivered with anticipation. This was the place where the territories of all 4 clans joined together. At every full moon, the clan leaders met here with their warriors under the scared truce of StarClan to exchange news and make decisions that would affect the whole forest. Firestar paused at the top of the slope and gazed down into the clearing. Leafpaw, near the back of the group, could only just see the tops of the 4 great oak trees that gave the clearing its name, but she could hear the sounds of many cats, and the breeze brought to her the mingled scents of ShadowClan, RiverClan, and WindClan. Before her first gathering, the only other cats Leafpaw had ever met were the 3 medicine cats from the other clans, when she had made her journey to the High Stones at the half moon to be formally apprenticed. When she had attended a gathering for the first time, she and Squirrelpaw had been overwhelmed by all the strangers, and she had stayed close to their mentors. But this time, Leafpaw felt more confident, and she was looking forward to meeting warriors and apprentices from the other clans. Crouching in the undergrowth, she watched her father for the signal to move down into the clearing. Brambleclaw was standing just in front of her with Mousefur and Swirltail. Leafpaw could see from their tautness that the young tabby's muscles that he was eagerly waiting for the gathering to start. While Swirltail's whole body quivered with excitement at the prospect of her first gathering as a warrior. Further ahead, Greystripe and Sandstorm were exchanging a few words, while Cloudtail shifted impatiently from paw to paw. Briefly, Leafpaw felt a pang of sadness that Squirrelpaw was not there as well, but to her relief, her sister had not minded too much about being left behind, saying that she was looking forward to a good night's sleep after caring for the elders all day. At last, Firestar raised his tail as the sign for his cats to move forward. Leafpaw sprang over the edge of the hollow and found herself racing down the slope just behind Brambleclaw, weaving her way through the bushes until she came out into the clearing. The shimmering moonlight revealed a mass of cats, some already seated around the great rock in the center, others trotting across the clearing to greet cats they had not seen for a moon, or lying in the shelter of the bushes to gossip and share tongues. Brambleclaw slipped into the throng right away, and Cinderpelt went over to speak to Little Cloud, the ShadowClan medicine cat. Leafpaw hesitated, still a little daunted by the number of warriors in front of her, the unfamiliar scents, and the glowing of so many eyes that all seemed to be trained on her. Then she caught sight of Greystripe with the group of cats who had all the scent of RiverClan. Leafpaw recognized a warrior with dense blue-gray fur whom they had met in the last gathering, and remembered her name, Mistyfoot, the RiverClan deputy. The 2 younger warriors were strangers to her, but Greystripe greeted them affectionately, pressing his muzzle against theirs. Leafpaw was just wondering if she could be welcomed if she would be welcome to go and talk to them when Mistyfoot caught her eye and beckoned her to it with her tail. Hi, it's Leafpaw, isn't it? Cinderbelt's princess? That's right. Leafpaw patted over. How are you? We're all well. The clan is thriving, Mistyfoot replied. Have you met Stormfur and Feathertail? Stormfur and Feathertail. My kids! Graystripe added proudly, though it was several moons since these strong cats had left the nursery. Leafpaw touched noses with the young warriors, realizing that she should have guessed Stormfur was Graystripe's kin. The two cats had the same muscular bodies and long gray pelt. Feathertail's fur was a lighter silver-gray tabby. Her blue eyes glowed with warmth and friendliness as she greeted Leafpaw. I know Cinderpelt well, she meowed. She looked after me once when I was ill. You must be proud of her, proud to be her apprentice. Leafpaw nodded. I'm giving them the same voice. Very proud. Okay, very proud. But she knows so much. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever learn it all. Feathertail purred sympathetically. I felt the same about being a warrior. I'm sure you'll do fine. You say clans thriving, Mistyfoot, Graystripe meowed quietly, but you're looking worried. Is there a problem? Now that he mentioned it, Leafpaw could see a glimmer of uneasiness in the RiverClan deputy's eyes. Mistyfoot hesitated for a couple of heartbeats, then shrugged. It's probably nothing, but... Well, you'll hear about it as soon enough about when the gathering starts. As she spoke, she glanced towards the great rock. Leafpaw saw that two cats were already waiting at the summit. Silhouetted against Silhouetted against the shining circle of the full moon was Tallstar, leader of WindClan, easily recognizable by his long tail. Beside him stood Leopardstar, the RiverClan leader, staring around impatiently at the cats below. As Leafpaw watched, she saw Firestar leap up to join them. Where's the ShadowClan leader? Leopardstar called out. Blackstar, where are you? What are you waiting for? Just coming. A heavy white Tom with jet black paws shouldered his way through the cats not far from Leafpaw. He crouched at the base of the rock and sprang up to land lightly beside the RiverClan leader. As soon as his paws touched the rock, Leopardstar threw back her head and let out a yowl. At once the noise in the clearing died down and every cat turned to face the great rock. Feathertail settled down beside Leafpaw with a friendly glance, and Leafpaw found herself warming to the gentle young warrior. Cats of all clans, welcome. Tallstar, the eldest of all the clan leaders, moved to the front of the great rock, raising his voice to address the assembled cats. Glancing to his fellow leaders, he asked, Who will speak first? I will. Firestar stepped forward. His flame-colored pelt turned silver in the moonlight. Leafpaw listened as her father passed on the news about the badger at Snake Rocks. It caused a little stir. The creature was unlikely to move from there onto another clan's territory, as long as the forest was full of prey. And we have a new warrior, Firestar went on. The ThunderClan apprentice Sorrelpaw has taken the warrior name of Sorreltail. A murmur of appreciation rippled through the clearing. Sorreltail was popular and well known among the clans, having been to several more gatherings than the average apprentice. Leafpaw caught a glimpse of her sitting up very straight and proud beside Sandstorm. Firestar stepped back and Blackstar took his place. He had taken over the leadership of ShadowClan after the death of Tigerstar. Under his leadership, ShadowClan was trusted more than before, though it was still believed that cold winds blew over the hearts of ShadowClan cats and darkened their thoughts. ShadowClan is strong, and prey is plentiful, Blackstar announced. The heat of Greenleaf has dried up parts of the marsh in our territory, but we still have plenty of water to drink. His glance raked defiantly around the clearing, and Leafpaw reflected that even if ShadowClan had less than a single raindrop left in their territory, Blackstar was unlikely to admit as much to the gathering. Tallstar flicked his tail at Leopardstar, inviting her to speak, but she drew back, leaving the place to him. The WindClan leader hesitated for a moment, when Leafpaw saw that his eyes were clouded with worry. Blackstar spoke truly of the heat of Greenleaf, he began. It is many days since the forest saw rain, and the moorland streams on RiverClan territory have been scorched away completely this last quarter moon. We have no water at all. But the river borders your territory, a cat called from the shadows beneath the great rock. Craning her neck to see, Leafpaw recognized Russet Fur, the Shadow Clan deputy. Oh, I gave him a silly little voice. The river runs through a deep, sheer-sided gorge for the whole length of our border, Tallstar replied. It's too dangerous to go down there. Warriors have tried, and one whisker fell, though thanks StarClan he was not hurt. Our kits and elders cannot manage the climb. They are suffering badly, and I feared that some of the younger kits may die. Can't your kits and elders chew grass for the moisture? Another cat suggested. Tallstar shook his head. The grass is parched. I tell you, there is no water anywhere on our territory. Turning with clear reluctance to the River Clan leader, he meowed. Leopard Star, in the name of StarClan, I must ask that you let us come into your territory and drink from the river there. Leopard Star came to stand beside the Wind Clan leader, her dappled golden fur rippling in the moonlight. The water in the river is low, she mourned. We have not escaped the effects of this drought in my clan. But there is far more than you need, Tallstar responded, desperation creeping into his tone. Leopard Star nodded. This is true. Coming to the very edge of the rock, she looked down into the clearing and asked, What do my warriors think? Mistyfoot. The River Clan deputy rose to her paws, but before she could speak, one of her clan mates cried out, We can't trust them! Let Wind Clan set one paw over our border and they'll be taking our prey as well as our water! Leafpaw could see the speaker, the smoky black Tom, sitting a few fox lengths away, but she did not recognize him. That's Blackclaw, Feathertail murmured into her ear. He's loyal to the clan, but... She trailed off, obviously unwilling to say anything bad about her clanmate. Mistyfoot turned and fixed Blackclaw with a clear blue stare. You forgot the times when River Clan has needed help from other clans, she meowed. If they had not helped us then, we would not be here today. To Leopard Star, she added, I say we should allow this. We have water to spare. The clearing fell silent, and the cats waited for Leopard Star to make her decision. Very well. Tallstar? She meowed at last. Your clan may enter our territory to drink from the river just below the two-leg bridge, but you will come no farther, and you do not have to leave to take prey. Oh, and you do not have leave to take prey. Tallstar bowed his head, and Leafpaw heard the relief in his voice as he replied, Leopard Star, River Clan has our thanks. From the oldest elder to the youngest kit, you have saved our clan. The drought will not last forever, and you will have water in your territory soon. We will discuss this again at the next gathering, Leopard Star meowed. I'm sure they will, Greystripe muttered darkly. If I know Leopard Star, she'll make Wind Clan pay for that water somehow. Let us hope that StarClan have sent rain by then, Tallstar meowed, stepping back to let Leopard Star address the gathering. Leafpaw's interest quickened as she wondered if they were about to hear what had been troubling Mistyfoot earlier, but at first the River Clan leader's news was unremarkable. A litter of kits had been born, and Two Legs had left rubbish by the river, attracting rats that had been killed by Blackclaw and Stormfur. Greystripe looked ready to burst with pride when his son was praised, while Stormfur scuffed the ground with his paws, his ears flat with embarrassment. At last Leopard Star meowed. Some of you have met our apprentices, Hawkpaw and Mothpaw. They are now warriors, and will be known as Hawkfrost and Mothwing. The cats around Leafpaw craned their necks to see the warriors the River Clan leader had named. Leafpaw turned to look too, but she had not distinguished them among the throng. Hawkfrost? I know that name. Actually forgot that he was River Clan. The heck? Leafpaw turned to look too, but she could not distinguish them among the throng. The traditional welcoming murmur for all new warriors broke out at the announcement, but to Leafpaw's surprise, it was mingled with a few discerning growls, which she realized were coming from River Clan cats. Leopard Star glared down from the rock and stilled the noise with a flick of her tail. Do I hear protests? She spat out angrily. Very well. I will tell you everything, to stop rumors from flying once and for all. 6 moons ago, at the beginning of New Leaf, a rogue cat came to the River Clan with her 2 surviving kits. Her name was Sasha, and the birth of her kits had weakened her so much she needed help with hunting and caring for them. For a time, she thought of joining the clan, and we would have welcomed her as a warrior, but in the end, she decided the warrior code was not the way of life for her. She left us, but her kits chose to stay. A flood of protest surged up from the cats around the rock. One voice rose clear above the yowling. Rogue cats! Taken into a clan? Has River Clan gone mad? Graystripe shot a questioning glance at Mistyfoot, who shrugged. They're good warriors, she murmured defensively. Leopardstar made no attempt to quiet the clamor, only staring stonily down until it died away. They are strong, young cats that have learned their warrior skills well, she meowed, when she could make herself be heard. They have sworn to defend their clan at the cost of their lives, just as all of you have sworn. With a glance at Blackstar, she added, Were not some of Shadow Clan warriors rogues once? Before he could reply, her gaze swiveled to Firestar. And if a kitty pet can become clan leader, why should rogues not be welcome as warriors? She has a point there, Graystripe admitted. Firestar dipped his head towards Leopardstar. True, he mewed. I'd be glad to see these cats fulfill their promise as loyal members of their clan. Leopardstar nodded in reply. His words had clearly appeased her. Is that what you're worrying about, Mistyfoot? Graystripe asked. It's not a big deal if they settle down well. I know, Mistyfoot sighed, and I know I'm the last cat to criticize any warrior for being born outside the clan, but... You know that Mistyfoot's mother was your old leader, Bluestar? You do know that Mistyfoot's mother was your old leader, Bluestar, Feathertail whispered to Leafpaw. Leafpaw nodded. But Leopardstar hasn't told you everything, Mistyfoot went on. The blue-gray warrior broke off as Leopardstar began to speak again. Mothwing has chosen a special place within our clan, she explained. Mudfur, our medicine cat, is growing old, and the time has come for him to take an apprentice. This time, her voice was drowned completely by the howls of protest. The 3 other leaders on top of the great rock drew together for an anxious conference. Tallstar was clearly unwilling to speak out after Leopardstar had agreed to give him access to the river, and in the end it was Blackstar who replied. I'm ready to admit that a rogue can learn enough of our code to become a warrior, he rasped, but a medicine cat? What do rogues know of StarClan? Will StarClan even accept her? That's what's bothering me, Mistyfoot muttered to Graystripe. Leafpaw felt a tingle spread through her fur. She remembered her own conviction, back when she had been a little more than a kit, that it was right for her to heal and comfort her clanmates, and to interpret the signs of StarClan for them. Had Mothwing felt the same? Leafpaw wondered, could she feel the same if she was not clan-born? Even Yellowfang, the medicine cat before Cinderpelt, had been forest-born, though ThunderClan had not been the clan of her birth. Voices all around the clearing echoed Blackstar's questions. At the base of the rock, an old brown Tom heaved himself to his paws and waited for quiet. It was Mudfur, the River Clan medicine cat. As the noise died down, he raised his voice. Mothwing is a talented young cat, he meowed. But because she was born a rogue, I am waiting for a sign from StarClan that she is the right medicine cat for River Clan. Once I have received that sign, I will take her to the mother mouth at the half-moon time. If I act without the blessing of StarClan, then you can all complain, but not until then. He flopped back down again, his whiskers twitching irritably. The crowd had parted so that Leafpaw could make out the young cat crouched beside him. She was startlingly beautiful, with glowing amber eyes and a triangular face, and long golden pelt with rippling tabby stripes. Is that Mothwing? She whispered to Feathertail. That's right. Feathertail gave Leafpaw's ear a quick lick. When the leaders have finished, I'll take you to meet her, if you like. She's quite friendly once you get to know her. Leafpaw nodded eagerly. She was sure that Mudfur would soon receive the sign that Mothwing could be accepted. There was no other medicine cat apprentices in the forest, and she looked forward to making friends with another one, someone she could talk to about her training and all the mysteries of StarClan that was slowly being revealed to her. The protests had died down after Mudfur's speech, and as Leopardstar had no more to say, Tallstar brought the meeting to an end. Feathertail leaped to her paws. Come on, before we all have to leave. As Leafpaw followed the River Clan warrior across the clearing, she felt sympathy already for Mothwing. Judging by the response of the other cats tonight, it was easy to imagine the hard path that lay ahead of her before she could fully be accepted into the clan. As the gathering drew to a close and the cats began to separate into their own clans, Brambleclaw looked around for his sister, Tawnypelt. He had not seen her and wondered if she... What? Did we just switch POVs? We did. Bro, what the heck? As the gathering drew to a close and the cats began to separate on their own clans, Brambleclaw looked around for his sister, Tawnypelt. He had not seen her and wondered if she had not been chosen to come this time. He saw Firestar halt in the front of a young tabby Tom who was sitting near Mudfur, the River Clan medicine cat. Congratulations, Hawkfrost, meowed Firestar. I'm sure you'll make a fine warrior. So that's Hawkfrost, Brambleclaw thought with interest, pricking up his ears. The rogue-born River Clan cat. Thank you. What kind of voice should I give him? Thank you, Firestar, the new warrior replied. I'll do my best to serve my clan. Sure you will. Firestar touched Hawkfrost on the shoulder with the tip of his tail in a gesture of encouragement. Pay no attention to all the fuss. It'll all be forgotten in a moon. He walked on, and Hawkfrost raised his head to look after him. Brambleclaw couldn't quite suppress a shiver when he glimpsed the other Tom's eyes, an eerie ice blue that seemed to stare through the ThunderClan leader as if he were made of smoke. Great StarClan, he murmured out loud. I wouldn't like to meet him in battle. Meet who? Brambleclaw spun around to see Tawnypelt standing behind him. There you are, he exclaimed. I've been looking everywhere for you. Answering her question, he added, Hawkfrost. He looks dangerous. Tawnypelt shrugged. So are you. They wrote that weirdly. You're dangerous. You're dangerous too. I'm dangerous. It's what warriors are for. This whole full moon thing could be broken by a slash of a claw. And has happened before. Brambleclaw nodded. True. So how are you, Tawnypelt? How's life in ShadowClan? Pretty good. Tawnypelt hesitated, looking uncharacteristically uncertain. Look, there's something I wanted to ask you about. Brambleclaw sat down and pricked his ears expectedly. The other night, I had this weird dream. What? He couldn't bite back the exclamation, and Tawnypelt's green eyes flew wide with alarm. No, go on, he meowed, forcing himself to be calm. Tell me about the dream. I was in a clearing in the forest, Tawnypelt explained, but he didn't recognize exactly where we were. There was a cat sitting on a rock, a black cat. I think it was Nightstar. You know, ShadowClan's leader before our father. I guess if StarClan were going to send a cat to ShadowClan, it wouldn't be Tigerstar. What did he say to you? Brambleclaw asked coarsely, already knowing what his sister's answer would be. He told me that there was a great trouble coming to the forest, and a new prophecy had to be fulfilled. I had been chosen to meet with 3 other cats at the new moon, and listen to what midnight would tell us. Brambleclaw stared at her, his fur crawling with ice. What's the matter? Tawnypelt asked. Why are you looking at me like that? Because I had the exact same dream, except the cat who spoke to me was Bluestar. Tawnypelt blinked, and her brother saw a shiver pass through her tortoiseshell fur. At last she meowed. Have you told any other cat about your dream? Brambleclaw shook his head. I didn't know what to make of it. To be honest, I thought it was due to something I ate. I mean, why would StarClan send a vision like that to me, instead of Firestar or Cinderpelt? I thought the same, his sister agreed, and I expected the other 3 cats to be from ShadowClan, so when no other cat mentioned it... I know, me too! I thought they would be from ThunderClan, but it looks as if we're wrong. Brambleclaw glanced around the clearing. The gathering was thinning out as cats began to leave, and in spite of the protests over Hawkfrost and Mothwing, the general mood was good-humored. No other cat looked as if they had received doom-laden dreams. What possible trouble could be coming, and if it did, what could he and Tawnypelt do about it? What do you think we should do now? Tawnypelt echoed his thoughts. If the dream was true, then 2 other cats should have had it, Brambleclaw replied. It makes sense there would be one from each of the other 2 clans. We should try and find out who. Oh, yes. Tawnypelt sounded scornful. Are you gonna walk into Wind Clan and River Clan territory and ask every cat if they've had a weird dream? I'm not. They would think we were mad, even if they didn't claw our ears off first. What do you suggest, then? We're all supposed to meet at the new moon, Tawnypelt meowed thoughtfully. Nightstar didn't say where, but it must be here at 4 Trees. There isn't anywhere else where cats from 4 different clans can get together. So, do you think we should come back here at the new moon? Unless you can think of a better idea. Brambleclaw shook his head. I only hope that the other cats do the same if the dream is real, of course. He broke off as he heard a cat calling his name, and turned to see Firestar standing a short distance away, with the other ThunderClan cats gathered around him. It's time to go, Firestar said. Coming! Turning back to Tawnypelt, he meowed urgently. At the new moon, then. Say nothing to any cat, and trust StarClan and the others will come. Tawnypelt nodded and slipped into the bushes, following her clanmates. Brambleclaw hurried over to join Firestar, hoping his shock and fear didn't show on his face. He had tried to forget his dream, but if Tawnypelt had dreamed it as well, he had no choice but to take it seriously. Trouble was coming, and he did not know what to do about it, nor understand how Midnight could tell him anything. Oh, StarClan, he mewed silently. I hope you know what you're doing. Chapter 4. Wait, is this... I don't think it's new moon yet. It's Willowpelt! Peachy, it's Willowpelt! Hi, Nono, do you mind reading? Does not know what he's doing. He doesn't. What's that? Is that an old book? Eventually I'll read other books, but we're in the Warrior Cat series right now, so we have to finish all the Warrior Cat books before we actually move on to another series, which will probably be a really long time. Robert Munchamore, The Killing, Shurub. Bro, did I miss the first kill count? It was Willowpelt! Willowpelt died off screen. You know, White Storm's mate. Sad. That's like, I feel like sometimes that's the harshest way that they can kill someone. Like, not even like, they don't even get a proper, like, death scene. It's just like, oh yeah, they're dead. And you're like, oh, okay. Alright. By the way, they're dead. I have a package sitting on the ground I want to open, but I also have to pee. Yeah, Badger. Thank you for the follow, Big Biden. I'll be right back. I have to go pee so badly. all this dang juice I've drunk. Rest in peace, a queen. She was really a queen. What's this? I know what this is! Where's my... I need a scissors. Somebody send me something. I thought it was makeup because I ordered makeup earlier. But it says it's something else. What is it? Opening it up. On the label it says it's a tiger. It's a tiger. I'm a tiger. It's really packed in this thing. The box is like puffing out like a crazy maniac. Oh. Ah! That was spooky. Ah. Open up. Open up. Not wanting to wrestle, I have to wrestle this. It's really packed in there. This box is too small for whatever's in this. Dun, 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 dun. He's a tiger! Oh. Wait, there's a little... Did I buy this? I didn't... Did I buy this? I don't remember buying this. No? Oh my god, guys, he's so cute. He's a little orange. He's a little orange. He's got the chubby cheeks. I have to send you guys... Oh, these little pixies. I have to send you guys a picture. It's so cute. Order. Did I buy this? The thing is, I thought maybe someone had bought it for me, but it says it's billed to me. So I must have bought it. I'm checking my emails. Email. What's it called? No? I'm so confused. Mystery tiger. Because see, I remember going on the website and looking at it. I remember staring at it. But I don't remember ordering it. I thought that I had decided not to order it. But did I? Or did... I don't know! What the... Hold on, I'm asking the only person who would be able to send it to me. And I didn't put it on my throne, so it couldn't be that either. Guys, it is so cute. It smells kind of stinky because it's been in a package. But it's so cute! Uh-oh, stinky. Can you hear it? That chubby little cheekies. I feel so blessed. I'm gonna take a picture of it right now. Whoa! Hi, Ender! I know I'm reading. I'm reading today. Like, this is kind of spooky. Okay, if the person I asked didn't get this for me, then my memory is not doing too well. How to hug me? Oh. I'm not sure. You can do it through your mind. Okay, I'm gonna upload it on Twitter. Go look. Wait, someone messaged me? Why is it so hard to open one dang Twitter app? No. I give it a head pads. Hydrate. Okay, I will in 1 second. Tiger. Mystery. How do I... Tiger. Don't remember ordering. But doesn't say who it's from. Okay, go look at it. It's on Twitter now. Go look at it. Go look at it while I scan my... Oh! Let's go tiger? Results. Tiger time. No. Last time that happened is... He's so cute! Little baby, little baby. It's like an orange too. You can't see it because I didn't put it in the picture. But he's got like a little like leaf on the top of his head. And his tiny paws have little hearts on them. He's so cute. Mystery. Seriously. What the heck? I'm thoroughly confused. Where the heck did the paper go? I just had a paper. Oh, there it is. Items. Like, I feel like I would have gotten a confirmation email, right? 3, 2, 1. Pick my PayPal. Bye, Van! Payments. It's not showing me. Okay, it's not showing me how much money it was, so this must be like a gift receipt, right? Guys. When would I have ordered this? Wait, whose phone number is that? Hold on. There's a phone number here that isn't mine. I found out who it is! Their number betrayed them! Ha 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 ha. Okay, mystery solved. Mystery solved. What time is it? Should we keep reading? Here, let me just glance over. Maybe not. We have that big middle break for some reason, and I really, really want like an ice cream sandwich or one of the dilly bars. And I'm really tired today. I'm a tired little guy. Go get that ice cream! Eepy day. So, this week, we're not gonna have a stream on Saturday. But we will be having a stream on Friday, and it might be a collab. It might be a collab, I'm not sure. Speaking of collabs, we're gonna be having a lot of collabs in the future, hopefully. If we can sort them all out in good time. So, the coming weeks, maybe collabby, we'll see. So, no stream on Saturday, but stream on Friday. Maybe collab. Alright. Alright, we'll raid somebody. Food making stream when? That's too much anxiety for me. If I ever make a... Viewers tell me how to cook. Viewers tell me how to cook. I like that idea. Who's still streaming? Fia streaming. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is either. Oops. Ah! Accidentally opened their stream 6 times. Insane. Why you people? So true. Wait, did it set up a raid? Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright, guys. We'll see you guys on the flip side. By that I mean Friday. Hopefully with a nice collab. I'll update you guys on Twitter if anything happens, like the time changes or whatnot. But if it doesn't, then I'll just be here at normal time. Okay? Thank you guys for hanging out and helping me discover the mystery of this really cute tiger. I love you guys. If it's night for you, go to bed right now. This instant. This second. If it's day for you, have a good day. Stay cool. Or stay warm if it's cold. I don't know where you live. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Remember, everybody, that moderation is the key to true happiness. I'll see you guys.